Pakana Limited. Recommendation of final dividend 25/5. Fluidimed Limited. To recommend final dividend 30/5. Vintage Coffee and Beverages Limited. Recommended dividend of 0.05 rupees. Banaras Beads Limited. Book closure for AGM. The 14th of July 2023. Alps Industries Limited. AGM. MPS Limited. Recommended dividend of 20 rupees. AGM and dividend. The 31st of July 2023. Power Grid Infrastructure Investment Trust. PGINVIT. Declaration of distribution for FY23. The 31st of May 2023. Titan Company Limited. AGM and payment of dividend. The 11th of July 2023. Kajaria Ceramics Limited. Recommended final dividend of 3 rupees. Simplex Realty Limited. Final dividend of 1. APM Industries Limited. Recommended dividend of 1.60 rupees. Sky Industries Limited. Recommended final dividend of 1 rupees. Mukund Limited. Recommended dividend of 2 rupees. Safari Industries India Limited. Final dividend and AGM 9/8. The 14th of July 2023. Reddington Limited. Recommended dividend of 7.20 rupees. The 7th of July 2023. BHARTI Airtel Limited. Recommended final dividend of 4 rupees. Goa Carbon Limited. Recommended final dividend of 17.50 rupees. Circa Paints India Limited. Recommended final dividend of 1.50 rupees. Talbris Automotive Components Limited. Recommendation of final dividend of 2 rupees. Associated Hotels Limited. Recommended final dividend of 5 rupees. Bombay Oxygen Investments Limited. Recommendation of dividend 23/5. Wellcast Steels Limited. Recommended dividend of 2.50 rupees. Tata Chemicals Limited. AGM and dividend. The 26th of June 2023. Trident Limited. Revised record date for first interim dividend. The 24th of May 2023. Shri Pushkar Chemicals and Fertilizers Limited. Recommended dividend of 1.50 rupees. Dixon Technologies India Limited. Consider declaration of dividend 23/5. Galaxy Surfactants Limited. To recommend final dividend 23/5. CRM Silk Mills Limited. Recommended payment of final dividend of 4 rupees. Sharanam Infra Project and Trading Limited. Rights entitlement in rights issue. The 16th of May 2023. Captain Technocast Limited. Recommended final dividend of 0.20 rupees. Chemplast Sanmar Limited. Have not recommended any dividend. Dev Information Technology Limited. Recommended final dividend of 5 rupees. Jindal Steel and Power Limited. Recommended final dividend of 2 rupees. Duncan Engineering Limited. Recommended final dividend of 1 rupees. TV Today Network Limited. Recommended final dividend of 3 rupees. Jubilant Ingrevia Limited. Recommended final dividend of 2.50 rupees. Orion Pro Solutions Limited. Recommended dividend of 2.50 rupees. Sunshield Chemicals Limited. Recommendation of payment of final dividend 2 rupees. Shriji Translogistics Limited. Recommended final dividend of 0.20 rupees. CSL Finance Limited. Consider recommendation of final dividend. 29/5. Tilaknagar Industries Limited. Dividend of 0.25 rupees. GMM Pfaudler Limited. Payment of final dividend. 25/5. Torrent Pharmaceuticals Limited. To recommend final dividend. 30/5. Lick Housing Finance Limited. Recommended dividend of 2 rupees. Gujarat Industries Power Co Limited. To recommend dividend. 29/5. VRL Logistics Limited. To recommend payment of final dividend. 20/5. Ada Welding Limited. To recommend dividend. 30/5. Gabriel India Limited. To recommend declaration of final dividend. 23/5. Manali Petrochemical Limited. To recommend dividend. 25/5. Mysore Petrochemicals Limited. To consider dividend. 26/5. Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited. To recommend final dividend. 30/5. Bal Pharma Limited. To recommend dividend. 29/5. KNR Constructions Limited. To recommend dividend. 29/5. Colt Patel Developers Limited. To recommend final dividend. 25/5. Sadhana Nitrocham Limited. To consider dividend. 24/5. Interstate Oil Carrier Limited. To recommend dividend. 25/5. Granules India Limited. AGM. The 10th of August 2023. Recommended final dividend of 1.50 rupees. Copran Limited. To consider dividend. 25/5. Ambika Cotton Mills Limited. To declare final dividend. 26/5. Max Healthcare Institute Limited. Recommended final dividend of 1 rupees. Kanoria Chemicals and Industries Limited. To consider dividend. 26/5. Prudent Corporate Advisory Services Limited. To recommend final dividend. 24/5. GOCL Corporation Limited. To recommend dividend. 30/5. National Peroxide Limited. To recommend dividend. 23/5. Remagnesita India Limited. To consider final dividend. 30/5. Dynamic Cables Limited. To consider final dividend. 23/5. Techno Electric and Engineering Company Limited. To recommend payment of dividend. 29/5. Dunsari Ventures Limited. To consider dividend. 24/5. Shri Dinesh Mills Limited. To recommend dividend. 30/5. Chaman Lal Sisha Exports Limited. To consider final dividend. 26/5. Multibase India Limited. To consider final dividend. 23/5. CCL Products India Limited. Recommended final dividend of 2.50 rupees. TVS Srichakra Limited. To recommend dividend. 23/5. Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. To recommend dividend. 22/5. PC Cosmos Soap Limited. To recommend dividend. 27/5. Agarwal Industrial Corporation Limited. To recommend dividend on equity shares. 23/5. Windsor Machines Limited. To recommend final dividend. 25/5. IB Infotech Enterprises Limited. To recommend final dividend. 24/5. HB Stock Holdings Limited. To consider dividend. 23/5. Sequent Scientific Limited. To consider dividend. 23/5. NDR Auto Components Limited. To consider dividend. 23/5. Fine Organic Industries Limited. To recommend dividend. 24/5. Centum Electronics Limited. To consider dividend. 27/5. Munjal Auto Industries Limited. To recommend final dividend. 23/5. Indian Hume Pipe Co Limited. Recommended dividend of 1 rupees. Galway High-Tech Films Limited. To recommend dividend. 26/5. Hercules Hoists Limited. To recommend dividend. 26/5. Bright Brothers Limited. To recommend dividend. 24/5. Navneet Education Limited. Recommended dividend of 2.60 rupees. Asian Granito India Limited. To recommend dividend. 24/5. Suprajet Engineering Limited. To recommend final dividend. 29/5. Northeastern Carrying Corporation Limited. Rights issue at 18 rupees in the ratio 9:10. 16/5. Nesco Limited. To recommend payment of final dividend. 24/5. Aptech Limited. To declare dividend. 24/5. Veron Mercantile Limited. To consider dividend. 24/5. Twin Roses Trades and Agencies Limited. To consider dividend. 24/5. IceJack Heavy Engineering Limited. To consider dividend. 29/5. SNL Bearings Limited. To recommend dividend. 23/5. Wellspun Enterprises Limited. To recommend final dividend. 19/5. Dixon Technologies India Limited. To consider declaration of dividend. 23/5. Oberoi Realty Limited. Recommended dividend of 4 rupees. Savara Industries Limited. To recommend dividend. 27/5. Thanks for watching. Please thumbs up if you like, subscribe, press the bell icon and never miss an update. Share and comment your thoughts on the comment section. And stay tuned with Corporate Actions India.